One shot is all you get. Crimson Trace rifle scopes help you take aim when that shot comes. Purpose-built with maximum features, versatility, and a lifetime warranty. Crimson Trace will elevate your performance in moments that matter.
Welcome to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, where a right is always a right, not a privilege.
Hey, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. If you'd like to join us, it's easy. Just call me at Tom Talk Gun, because that's what we do. We're going to be talking about guns and shooting and sports and recreation and safety and, yeah, self-defense, certainly. And we'll talk politics. A lot of things going on here. We're joined right now by a friend of ours. He's been on the show before, Michael Sodini from Walk the Talk America. Hello, Michael. How are you, sir?
Tom, thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, you attended the Second Amendment rally in D.C. yesterday. You want to give us a report?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was an amazing event, first of its kind, I believe. There was about 30 different speakers from all walks of the 2A community. You had people there with, everybody, one goal in mind is to show the rest of the world, hey, we're here. We don't want to change, but we want to show you what we do. And it was just an awesome event. I actually had my 5 minutes. I got to get up there and speak. I think it went much better than it was expected to. So,
well, yeah, and it was put together. Honestly, it was kind of a last-minute deal, and people just kind of throwing this thing together and got the permits. And so you had Diana Muller there, you had Maj Touré there, you had a whole bunch of other speakers just talking about the various aspects of Second Amendment activism. And I will tell you, in my view, one of the benefits, it's not talked about a lot, but honestly, I think one of the benefits of this is to show the world, if they're looking, that we are your neighbors. We look like you, and I don't care if you are black, brown, polka dotted, gay, straight, man, woman. We are just like you. We are part of your community. And we actually are doing things to enhance safety, safe gun use, safe gun ownership. And to me, those are kind of the major takeaways. And you got the other, in the weeds stuff. But that is kind of my overall view.
Yeah, and you just said it best. I mean, that description was perfect. There were activists there and influencers that weren't there to speak, that just showed up, that what I loved about it was they put their ego aside just to support the thing. They could have had their moments up on stage, but it was beautiful, and there was everything that could go. It just went perfect, and nothing went wrong. We sat back, we had to take it in after it was over, and it was kind of like, this went so much better than we thought, because you have anxiety, especially when you're putting something on like that. And then we had to deal with the Nationals parade from winning the World Series, so we didn't know. You had drunken fans come through, but It ended up working out. I look forward to it. I think this is something that we could do every year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. I already had my my deer hunt planned, so I was out in the mountains and actually on the way back yesterday. But now, it was only 2 weeks ago. You realize this, how fast you're moving. It was only 2 weeks ago. You and I were sitting and having dinner in Orlando, Florida at the Sporting Goods Wholesalers Show, and then you went from there straight to D.C. to go be at the White House.
Yes, yeah. I was asked to join a suicide prevention task force for the VA. It was an honor because, it was a hand-picked select few, and I was there representing the firearms industry. Mm-hmm. And I think we got a lot of messages across. Like you said, you play with ideas in a nice manner. You'd be surprised at, the information that people want to learn, and they were there to take in what I was saying. I think there could be a lot that could be done from those meetings. So 2 days in the White House, and then also the VA building.
You've been working on the whole suicide prevention from the gun owners, the gun manufacturers, the industry standpoint for a while, not a long time. But as you have worked with the suicide prevention groups, traditionally, would it be fair to say traditionally, they did not hold gun owners or our community in high regard? How are we perceived there?
Well, and you're right. I mean, that's just been the history of it. There's always been a division. We've always kind of ran parallel to each other. But the interesting thing is we're both stigmatized, right? Gun owners and mental health. We should really be talking together and working together. But when I went up there, and I'm speaking only about this White House thing, but this kind of transcends to the other opportunities I've had to talk to the mental health community, is, look, the gun community, the 2A community, could be a conduit for people to get the proper help they need without consequence, without fear of consequence. Because if you align with us, we could pass that information on. Because, as you know, there's a disproportionate amount of vets and first responders that succumb to suicide, right? They take their own lives because we have something to lose if we come forward, something that's near and dear to us that represents freedom, which is the Second Amendment.
Wait. So what you're saying is if you come forward and say, hey, I need some help here, the fear is people will take our guns away.
Yeah, and it's happened in the past, right? So what we have to do is kind of reach out to the other side and say, if you truly are about saving lives, like we are, let's face it, but most of the 2A community is about safety and protecting what you love. We have to go out there and show them we had to walk them through it, right? Because a lot of them, they don't understand us. And now we're getting to that point where they're saying, I see it. Because people go to get help through the communities they trust. And our industry is trusted by vets and first responders and just good law-abiding citizens that believe in freedom.
Okay, I'm catching up. I see where you are now. All right, so if you're a veteran, if you're a police officer, if you're a first responder, you're thinking, okay, the firearms community, I'm part of that. This is a group I trust. I don't know about those mental health guys out there. I don't know if they're going to call somebody and they're going to come and show up and take my guns away. I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I think maybe I need to talk to somebody. So what you're saying is, okay, do it through us. Do it through the gun industry.
Right. And that's the thing is that, everyone needs to understand that when people go into crisis mode, you shouldn't have to be branded with a scarlet A on your chest, right? That crisis can last minutes. It can also last years. But it should have nothing to do with whether or not you own a firearm, because the only future predictor of violence is previous violence, not mental health crisis or diagnosis.
Oh, so how's that message being received within the mental health community?
It's being received great. It really is. I think it's time for us to make that major move and start working together to work on programs that destigmatize firearms and mental health, but also save lives and don't have consequence. It just makes sense.
I want to back up a second here, Mike. For people who don't know you, you are a gun guy. You had a gun company in the gun industry, a major outfit, and you made a change, and you have made this your life. Do you want to talk about that? Is that fair to ask you about that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Third generation in the firearms industry. I grew up in Jersey, California, so I wasn't around firearms the way that many of us are. But the industry accepted me with open arms and taught me a lot about life. So it's something that's near and dear to me. About a year ago, I started Walk the Talk America, and it got to the point where it was received so well on both sides, which I think a lot of people would be surprised by that. But now that it's here, it needed somebody to really give it attention and take it to another level. So I sold my company about 4 months ago, which was it was awkward for me because it's all I've ever known to do this like full time. And here we are. We're at the White House. We had a seat at the table. It took 1 year. It's something I'm proud of.
The obvious thing that maybe people haven't connected yet is, okay, that's a good thing to do, but the old what's in it for me, because all sales revolves around what's in it for me. If you're trying to get people to involved and understand this, okay, if you're saying, that's nice, but I don't really care about, nobody's actually going to say it out loud, I don't care about the individual. But here's the real reality. From a Second Amendment activism standpoint, 2/3 of gun deaths are suicides. The more we reduce those, the better it is for the Second Amendment activist community. And yes, it's great to save lives, and that's the number one thing. And, anytime you can do that, it's wonderful. But there is this ancillary benefit to the Second Amendment community of simply reducing deaths, through the use of firearms. And that's kind of where that's that intersection that you're putting together here.
Yeah, it's the intersection of mental health and firearms, right? It's on the corner of suicide. It's a dark place, but that's the thing. Every program that Walks Across America started, it's ours. It's the industries. It's the 2A community, and we can be proud of that. We can beat our chests and say, this is what we do. Do you want to do it with us? Or you going to go down Twitter and talk about how bad we are? Because if you want to do it with us, then you also have to accept that we're good people. So we're going to change the narrative. Like, I love being better than the rest. So.
Yeah, you say, do you really want to save lives? We have a way. Come join us. We're already involved. We're doing this thing. It's called Walk the Talk America, and the website is real easy, walkthetalkamerica.org. And when you go there, not only can you donate, can you get involved, but you actually have a way for people to start doing their own self-screening, right?
Yeah, we have screenings, which are, we've got 14 gun manufacturers to commit to putting the mental health treatment engagement flyer, which leads to screenings that are free and anonymous, which is good for, identifying symptoms early or symptom management. You could also go down there and download that from the website. We have it under the media section. There are two different versions of that screening. We also have a shared stories section where people can talk about positive things or maybe even point out flaws in systems. It's education piece as well. So.
Well, you are terrific, and this really is one of those. And Jim's pointing out here, says, and if this campaign saves only one life, it's worth it. And in this case, I absolutely agree.
No, that's awesome. Let me tell you something. The support from the Second Amendment community is the most important thing for me, and it's been great. And that's what I want to show the rest of the world is, hey, we're doing something.
Exactly right. Michael Sodini, thank you so much. WalkTheTalkAmerica.org. Keep us posted, please.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it.
You betcha. Anytime. There's a guy who got the message on a personal level and changed his life, and as a result is changing a lot of lives. That's what we do. We're the good guys here. We're the good gals. We're the ones who are doing these things. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, open lines for you right now, 866-TALK-GUN.
The old saying, there is strength in numbers, holds true when fighting unmeritorious prosecution or a lawsuit after a self-defense shooting. The Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network has over 17,000 members and $2 million for our members' legal expenses after an act of self-defense. Shouldn't you be part of the network too? Learn more at armedcitizensnetwork.org or call us at 360-978-5200.
Used guns can be a great value, but you have to know who you're buying from. What if you could buy quality used guns with a lifetime warranty from the Internet's largest online reseller? That's what you get at Dewey'sGuns.com. They stand behind every firearm purchase for life. If you have a problem, they'll either fix or replace your gun. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and more. Check out their inventory today at Dewey'sGuns.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at ShopGunTalk.com. Get prepared. ShopGunTalk.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Trouble is unpredictable. It shows up without warning. It rears its ugly head when and where you least expect it. Trouble has no conscience, no regrets, no remorse. Be prepared and protected with the MC1 SC subcompact 9mm pistol by Mossberg. Yes, Mossberg, the company trusted by police and military for decades. The MC1 SC subcompact 9mm pistol. Small, powerful, snag-free. Always with you. Available with night sights or laser. Mossberg.com.
We just got through with Halloween, but you know what? Crime rates actually go up around Halloween. You know why? Because thieves and burglars know that you're out and your home is vulnerable, and that's true for a lot of times. We're coming up on a lot of holidays here, and that's the whole deal. What you're looking for is peace of mind when you're away from your home, and Blink security cameras do that for you. Blink cameras are wire-free. They set up faster than you can rip off your kids' candy, and they run. You get alert on your smartphone. They run on 2 lithium batteries for up to 2 years. And when your camera detects motion, like someone snooping around your home, you get this alert. I get it all the time on my phone. You can turn it off when you want to, and you turn it off on your smartphone app. It's very cool. You turn off the motion detection, turn it back on. One of the things I like about it, sounds crazy, you can actually check the temperature inside or outside your house if you have the cameras inside when you're away. I don't know. I'm a weather geek. I kind of like that aspect of it also. So you get to see what your Blink cameras see. You can actually watch live video through them as well as getting these alerts, and it records video when it gets the motion detection deal. And here's the cool part. The Blink XT2 two-way talk feature lets you talk to whoever's there. So no matter where you are, it's kind of like you're home. And now through November the 3rd, all right, November the 3rd, I got you 20% off Blink indoor and outdoor cameras and systems. Yep, 20% off. Just visit blinkprotect.com/sale. That's blinkprotect.com/sale. Thanks to Blink, home security just got easier. Oh, yeah. Blink is also available on Amazon and other fine retailers. Blink is an Amazon company, and it works with Alexa. All right. So I mentioned that I was on this deer hunt. I was out in Idaho. I was up in the mountains in the wilderness area. Yeah, actually a real wilderness area. In Idaho, you can fly into the wilderness areas. They have specific landing strips that are maintained by the state. It's very cool. So I get to do the things that I love. I get to fly little airplanes. I love flying. I get to have my rifle, get to hang out with my buddies. We get to do some camping, hiked all over the hills, and those hills are steeper than they used to be. I don't know what that's about. I think actually I do. Saw a lot of does and fawns, and then saw one buck. He was a shooter. I mean, it's not a big deer, but I could have shot him. It was toward the end of the day. We were probably 30, 45 minutes away from dark, walking back to camp. He's out at 350. Well, I know exactly where he was because I was using those new binoculars I just bought that have the rangefinder built in. Oh, man, is that cool. It also shows you what a bad judge of distance we all are. He was about 350. Could have done it. Had the 257 Roberts. The problem was he was on the other side of the river. Yep. Not only the other side of the canyon, but the other side of the river. We had to cross the river. It just didn't feel right. It's like, yeah, we can do that. And I don't know if we can get it to him tonight. And it would be tomorrow. And what if something goes wrong? What if you don't get a good hit? What if he's down? And we had wolves in that area. We have mountain lions in the area. And it was just one of those deals you're thinking, I'm getting about 95 to 98% out of this hunt of everything I want without shooting anything. I'm getting to spend time out with my friends. I'm getting to walk around the gorgeous mountains. We're camping out. The temperatures are dropping down to, single digits a couple of nights. Oh, a trick. 2 mummy bags. Slide one inside the other. Works like a charm. Also, I have this incredible air mattress. My buddy Brad just got one because he fell in love with it when he saw it. It's called the XPED. I think it's XPED. They're not cheap, but they really are good and comfortable. It's kind of like having a Thermarest or something out there. It's really comfortable. The other thing is that when we got back to camp, after I did not shoot this deer, we're in this big wall tent. There are 5 of us in there. And the wind went from 0 to about 60 to 70 miles an hour in roughly 5 seconds. We got hit with the worst, nastiest squall I've ever been in. And the tent started coming down, and we've got propane stoves and lanterns going in there. And so we immediately shut off the gas to everything, and 3 of us are inside this tent with the wind screaming, and it's starting to come down, and we're holding it up, grabbing onto the frame inside. And 2 guys took off and went outside, and one is running around trying to get all the ropes to hold. Ropes are snapping. The guy ropes are snapping and breaking. And he's trying to hammer these in and get more ropes on them while this wind's screaming. It starts snowing. The temperature dropped about 20 degrees in about a minute or so. It was unbelievable. And then the wind finally, it took about 20, 25 minutes. It dropped down from that real squall, like, I'm not kidding, 60, 70 miles an hour to probably 20 to 25 miles an hour, and it blew that way all night long. A little tough to get some sleep in tents. They're flapping like crazy because we were out and we have small sleeping tents. Then we had this wall tent we all hang out in. That's where we kind of cook our stuff and gather. And you have the heat on, which is really nice. It was tough, but I was thinking the whole time that night, thinking, man, I am really glad I did not shoot that buck, because I don't know what we could have done in terms of going across. And boy, was I glad I wasn't way out there in the middle of nowhere when that storm hit with very little protection other than just having a coat and a hat on, because it was hypothermia city. It was bad. It also kind of was just one of those reminders, wake-up calls of, do you have what you need when you're out walking around like that? Squall hits, didn't see it coming, didn't know it was coming. Do you have some kind of shelter? And I don't care if it's a space blanket or something to wrap around you so you could sit down in the lee of the wind somewhere, hunker down. A big old space blanket and a candle. Believe it or not, if you can get a candle going, you can keep it going, can provide you some heat. Oh, yeah, you got to have a way of starting it, too. You got to have matches or a butane lighter or something. Just, it's one of those deals I start thinking about it. It's interesting. So there you go. Hey, number here is 866-TALK-GUN. Joe, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you when we come back. We are open lines. If you're thinking about taking a shooting class, call me. Tell me which one, and I'll tell you what I think. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
This is Milo Lardbottom, Junior Under Assistant Deputy to the Assistant Director of Deputy Affairs for the Department of Homeland Security, with a special message for listeners of Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. We know who you are. We know where you are. You're right by your radio. We have special cameras that can see into your radio. I have a special monitor built into my aluminum foil helmet. We are watching you, so don't try anything funny, Buster.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. Joe is in Shreveport, Louisiana on 4. Hello, Joe. I hear you're going to Gunsite.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, you've convinced me, and I'm a guy who believes in training. The more I shoot, the more I realize I need to train.
Okay.
So I've saved my money, and I've got a course for the 223 carbine. It's planned in March and the beginning of April. And I know you have taken courses at Gunsite, so I just thought I'd ask you, what would you recommend to maximize my training experience at Gunsite?
Sure. Okay, great question. First of all, when you're taking a 223 class there, understand that you would be expected to also be wearing a handgun while you take the class.
Right,
so
got that.
All right, so I'm sure I say you got that, but have your handgun with a good holster and extra mag or 2 mags for that. Now, you're going to probably want to check with them what they would like for you to have in the way of equipment. You're certainly going to want to have a sling, and you're going to have magazine holders for your AR mags. Whether or not you use an optic is up to you. I would suggest you probably want to have at least a red dot or maybe even a low power scope, like a 1x to 4, something like that. But that's completely your call. One thing I am going to suggest you get, it's going to sound weird, but if you want to enhance your experience in the class, because you're going to shoot a lot and you're going to load a lot, is get you a magazine loader.
I got that. I understand. I've been down that road before.
Okay. Anybody that's done a lot of AR shooting knows, okay, yeah, my thumb is going to give out here. If you're going to shoot 1,000 or 1,500 rounds in the course of a week, a mechanical magazine loader is a huge advantage, and it will really help you out. Honestly, there's not much more you need, because they're going to start you from scratch. They're going to say, okay, right, here it is. Let's talk about the rifle, and let's talk about, what we're doing here. And this is how you load it. This is how you do it. And the first day you're going to think, oh, this is kindergarten. This is baby stuff. And you're taking the full 5-day class, right?
Correct.
By the 5th day, it'll all make sense. It is a true building block approach. Have you been to Gunsite before for any class?
Never to Gunsite. Went to the old Blackwater years ago, and that kind of kicked it off for me for the whole training regime, but never to Gunsite. But you've spoken so highly of it that I'm ready to do it.
I'll be real surprised if you don't have a great time. But don't you find, once you start taking good classes, that you actually want to take more good classes?
You're absolutely correct. The first thing that hit me was, wow, I never knew what I didn't know. And I just kept building on that, because there's always something else to learn and something else to improve on.
I know it's one of those sayings that we say, you don't know what you don't know. And people go, yeah. No, it's like there are things you think, I didn't even know this was an area that I should know about, much less what's inside the area. And you have like several times a day, you get those head-slapping moments. You're going, holy cow, I had no idea. And that makes so much sense. And it's really so easy once you get it explained to you. And then when they start you out with the building blocks, load the rifle this way, insert the magazine this way. Because by day 2 and day 3, we're going to be picking up the pace, and we're going to be doing it faster. And if you do it our way and you do it slowly on the first day, by the 3rd day, it's going to make sense. And you're moving and shooting and loading and reloading and doing malfunction drills. You're going, oh, that makes sense. I get that now.
It's a whole epiphany. And I'll tell you one more benefit that I just thought of.
Yeah?
The wonderful people you meet. Boy, you meet some good people on the range.
You will make friends there, and be prepared to get, offer your name and your contact info, and you're going to meet 2, 3, 4, half dozen people who you will actually stay in touch with, because you're just going to make a connection. Now, you're not all of them, and you won't have a chance to meet all of them, but everybody, I swear, as many times as I've been there, and I'm going to be going back there in 2 weeks, as many times as I've been there, everybody is always pleasant. And they're friendly, and they're helpful, and they're all armed with loaded guns. Maybe that all goes together, There may be a connection there.
It's great. Well, look, thanks so much for your time, and I'll look forward to reporting back in the spring.
That'll be great. I appreciate it, Joe. Yeah, I actually signed up for a class, a local class here in Louisiana with an outfit I don't know anything about. It's a range that I just joined, and next weekend I'm going to go do a one-day class, and it's an AR-15 and pistol combo class. And I'll be spending my time getting together. I just got a SIG Romeo 8 red dot optic to put on my AR, so plan on using that. I got to go out and shoot that this week, get it sighted in, get ready. Don't know what to expect, honestly. So I'm going to take, pistol mags, mag holders, get the rifle ready as best I can. And frankly, the most important thing, I think, in all these classes is to take an open mind. Just to show up with an open mind. And, and, I always say this, and this is no reflection on any particular outfit or class or anything else. Be aware of your surroundings there, just as you are everywhere else. You got a lot of people with guns. You don't know these people. By halfway through the first day, you'll get a sense of, are the instructors watching everybody? Are they requiring safe gun handling? And you can relax a little bit. But until then, eyes in the back of your head, be careful, listen up, and listen, because if you're at the line, there's another group of people behind you, students, and they're not supposed to be shooting, and you hear maybe an action close, slide goes forward, or a bolt goes forward, your ears ought to perk up, because nobody should be back there loading their gun back behind you if they're not on the line. Just little things like that, paying attention, Not being paranoid, just being smart. 866-TALK-GUN. Doug, we'll get to you next. We have room for everybody. If you want to join us right now, we are open lines. If you want to talk about guns, you are in the right place because this, in fact, is Gun Talk.
All the refinements in Smith & Wesson's M&P M2.0 pistol series shrunk to a perfect carry size in the new compact version. 4-inch barrel, light crisp M2.0 trigger, aggressively textured grip for enhanced control, 4 interchangeable palm swell inserts, 2 magazines, lifetime service policy, 15-round 9mm mag, 13-round 40 mag. The M&P M2.0 compact pistol. More at smith-wesson.com.
It's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. I'm Alan Gottlieb, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation. When someone says we don't need that kind of gun, remind them the Founding Fathers determined what rights our Constitution should protect. There's a world of difference between rights and needs. It is not the function of government to tell us what we need or what we don't. Certainly no one needs an assault rifle or a Saturday Night Special, or for that matter, no one needs a Corvette with a high-capacity horsepower engine capable of speeds to 150 miles per hour. But in the hands of honest, responsible individuals, we have the right of choice. We have the right to read books others don't like. We have the right to listen to any radio program we choose. We have the right to dress the way we want to. We also have the right to own firearms of our choice. So the next time someone tells you you don't need something, tell them it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. Join the Second Amendment Foundation today so that this message and our Bill of Rights might live. Call 425-454-7012. That's 425-454-7012.
Since 1994, Crimson Trace has defined and built the laser sighting category through design, innovation, and performance. With an obsession to create best-in-class electro-optics, Crimson Trace now offers a full line of lasers, lights, reflex sights, red dot sights, and rifle scopes for tactical and sport applications. Most Crimson Trace products include free batteries for life, and all scopes are backed by a lifetime warranty. Find yours at your local dealer or at crimsontrace.com.
Hey, Tom Gresham here. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in. Let's talk about guns. Doug's going to talk to us about guns. He's in Medford, Oregon on 2. Hey, Doug, you're on Gun Talk. What's going on?
Hi, Tom. On a bolt-action rifle, when storing it or put it back in your gun safe, I heard it's good to hold the trigger back and then slowly close the bolt. What do you think about that?
I have honestly never heard that before. The idea being you hold the trigger back, close the bolt, and then that drops the firing pin? Yeah, and
it's supposed to keep your springs better, but they say it's an old-time thing that they used to do years ago.
Yeah, no, ignore it. It's an old wives' tale. I don't even worry about pulling the trigger to release the pressure on the spring. I got guns in the safe that they're empty, but they've been cocked for 30 years.
Okay, so that's not necessary. It isn't going to keep your springs better. Then
I don't think so. But if I were to do it, then I would just pull the trigger and dry fire it, obviously pointing the gun in a safe direction, just on the off chance that there's still something in there. But here's the other part. This is my chance to get in my plug. People, use your eyeballs, look in the chamber, see if there's anything in there. It's like, okay, let's open it up, and I know we worked the bolt and everything else, but actually look in the barrel, and not the muzzle, the back end, and make sure there's nothing in there before you close the bolt and pull the trigger. But I wouldn't worry about it. And the idea of pulling the trigger first and closing the bolt, I don't know, never heard of that. Maybe somebody else could help me out if they've heard of that, but I appreciate it, Doug. Thank you, sir. Mark is in Pearland, or rather Pearland, Texas. Hey, Mark, what's going on with this revolver?
Hey, Tom, it's Pearland, as in the pear you eat.
Pearland, thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, Tom, I've got a 686 revolver, 6-shot, and I haven't. It's probably around 5 years old. I haven't shot it a whole lot, recently started shooting it more, and I'm using some range ammo, Federal red box, 158 grain, 38 special, and then Remington white, green white box, 38 special, 130 grain full metal jacket. And I would say probably 3 out of 10 of those rounds don't fire. There's an indention on the firing pin, but they won't fire. And sometimes I'll go around again in the cylinder, and sometimes they'll fire and sometimes they won't. But I mean, I left the range today, and I had a handful of rounds that wouldn't fire. And so I don't know if this is cheap. I mean, this is not. I mean, this is name brand. Name brand.
Well, yeah, but
recognized ammo.
this is Now, let me ask you a question. Have you experienced that with other ammo or just with this ammo?
Well, just with this, just with these two types of ammo here.
Okay.
This was kind of the cheaper range ammo that I bought just to kind of practice or practice with at the range. Now, a friend of mine has an M&P, the M&P revolver, R8 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's
nice
a black
revolver.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. And he and I took it to the range here several months ago, and his revolver wouldn't fire with some of his range ammo, and so he sent me a note later and told me that that revolver is real specific. It needs SAMI ammunition, some specific SAMI ammunition. It won't fire, like it has trouble firing certain range ammo, and so I don't know if this is a case of that or not.
There could be two or three things going on that pop it to mind. One is hard primers. One is the rims on those cartridges are a little thinner, which would actually affect the headspace, if you will, in terms, that's like the weirdest, longest shot of anything. I'm going to suggest two things. One, it's going to sound weird. Mark somehow, like with, I don't know, gray Sharpie or something on the back of the cylinder, mark the cylinder so you can know which chamber this happens with. It's possible it's consistent with certain chambers within your cylinder. And the other thing is I would contact Smith & Wesson. And I would say, look, this is what's going on. It's repeatable. Have you found this to be the case? Is there an issue? Or do I have a revolver that you need to take a look at? Because they may say, oh, wow, send us back that revolver. We need to take a look at that because there may be an issue with the gap for the cylinder or with any particular chamber in the cylinder. So that's enough to where I start to get a little bit concerned about what's going on there, frankly.
Okay, well, thank you, Tom. I'll sure do it. Smith & Wesson has been, I'm a Smith guy, most M&Ps, everything, and they've been really good about customer care on several other issues I've had in the past. So
I think if you contact them and tell them what's going on, give them a chance to weigh in, and they may say, look, yes, we've identified that. We understand that ammo has this issue, and then you'll just know, okay, well, I can't use that ammo. Or they may say, we'd kind of like to look at that, in which case they'll get, send you a box or whatever and get that revolver sent back. But I appreciate it. But, I do love Smith revolvers. I like all revolvers. I like the Rugers. I like all of them. But I appreciate that. Yeah, in fact, people know I carry that 686 Deluxe, the 7-shot, 3-inch barrel. But you know what I was looking at recently? I was looking at Ruger's got a 44 Special double action revolver with 3-inch barrel. And I'm thinking, man, that with hard cast lead bullets, you kind of load them up, and now you're back doing the old Elmer Keith stuff, which is where this 44 Magnum, I don't know what it is. I go down this rabbit hole. Did that ever happen to you? It sure happens to me. Straight to the phones. Mike's in Salina, Kansas on 2. Hey, Mike, what you got there?
Yeah, Tom, I'm a 65-year-old with arthritis.
Okay.
And I've got a Ruger SR9 that I'm having trouble racking the slide on.
Okay.
And I was wondering, can a guy put a lighter spring in there, or do I just need to trade it in?
No, you can put a lighter spring in. I'm going to back up, though. First of all, tell me, when you are racking the slide, how do you grab the slide?
Well, with my left hand over the top. And
okay,
every now and then my little finger gets caught.
Okay, so you are wrapping your left hand over the top of it and basically yank back with your left hand and shove forward with your right hand. Because that's the motion. What you want is you don't want to just try to pull it with your left hand. That's difficult for everybody. Grab that slide, take your left hand and go right over the top of it. Grab that slide with your left hand and with your right hand. And basically what you want to do is try to rip the slide off so your left hand comes back towards your right shoulder and your right hand punches out like you're going to punch somebody right in the mouth. And you do both of them at the same time. It rip, just like bang. It's think of it not of a it's like a pow. You're going to bang. I'm going to just pop that slide back. Now, having said that, you can put a lighter spring in. I'm looking at, what am I looking at? Galloway Precision. You can also get them from Brownells. You get 22, 20, 18, and 15-pound springs. What will happen is if you go with a lighter spring, you need to consider replacing it more often because they're going to get beat up a little bit more. But it certainly is a possibility. But do this, if you would, please. Before you do that, with your unloaded gun, try that technique of wrapping your hand over the top, and then with you're ripping back with your left hand and you're punching forward with your right hand, and see if that helps. I don't know if, with the arthritis, I'm not sure, but it might. It certainly is a good technique. And then if you need to do it, then you can go to a lighter spring. And you may end up going with both. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll try that, and that's what I needed to know.
Very good. Well, I appreciate it. Good luck. That's a very nice pistol, by the way. I really like the SR9s. Those are really nice. Thank you, sir. In fact, that's one of those sleeper guns. There's 2 or 3 of them out there that don't get the attention they deserve. I think the SR9 from Ruger. I think the Ruger American pistol is one of the lightest recoiling. The sense of recoil is very light on those pistols. Ryan mentioned earlier the FN 509. Very nice. There's some really nice pistols that everybody focuses on a few, but they don't look at all these different ones. You might want to, when you go into the store to buy a pistol, don't get locked in on I have to have a Glock. I have to have a whatever it is. Go in and look at them. Give yourself time and ask the salesperson, look, I'd like to just kind of look at a lot of, if you're looking at 9s, a lot of 9s. And I want to pick them up and put them in my hand. I want to feel them. I want to, work the slide. I want to try the trigger. I want to just kind of spend time getting to know them. You may find that, who knows, a CZ is the one you go, oh, I love that. It may be a Ruger. It may be a Smith. It may be a SIG. It may be whatever. But try them all and try not to get locked in on one because you may miss out on the one that for your hand, for everything about it, that's the one that works for you. Hey, everybody who's on hold right now, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you, okay, when we come right back. And you'll be part of the after show. If you haven't checked out the after show, you got to listen to it. It's available through podcast, available through the Gun Dealio smartphone app. It's free. Get it on your phone. It's gundealio.com. In the meantime, go out, do some shooting. Become an activist for the Second Amendment, even if that only means you're going to speak well about shooting and invite somebody to go to the range with you. I'm Tom Gresham. We'll see you next week. Get out there, do some shooting, do some hunting, and then give us a range report.